Welcome students, welcome to the part 2 of the chapter The Great Uprising. Till now we have studied about the different causes which caused the Great Uprising and also that immediate cause, that important cause and the grease cartridges incident that led to the further happening of the revolt. Now today we will be talking about the beginning of the uprising. See, the first soldier who protested against this grease cartridge incident was Mangal Pandey. He was a sepoy in the 5th Company of the 34th Native Infantry Regiment stationed at Barrackpur. It is in Meerut. Okay, on 29th March, he fired at his British commander and asked the other sepoys to join him to end the rule of the company. He was, however, soon arrested and hanged on 8th April. Clear? So, the first person was Mangal Pandey and he was hanged on 8th April. Okay, the hanging of Mangal Pandey caused great unrest in army camp across India. On 24 April, 85 sepoys of the 3rd Bengal Light Cavalry, these are the names that are given to the these military people, okay, and the different infantry they belong, stationed at Meerut, refused to use the cartridges. On 10th May, these soldiers raised the banner of revolt. So finally, on 8th May, underline, the soldiers raised the banner of revolt. They killed the British officers, released the imprisoned sepoys, seized arms, ammunition, and set fire to all the British properties. Now coming to the spread of the uprising. How this spread from Meerut, it came from Meerut to Delhi. Okay, from Meerut and Delhi, the uprising soon spread to other places in northern and central India. It was particularly strong in Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Bareilly, Gwalior, Faizabad and Ara. Now coming to Lucknow. In Lucknow, the residency, you know now we have a residency here, the same residency they are talking about. The residency was the scene of a major battle. On 31st May 1857, the sepoys laid siege to the residency. Can you see this picture or painting showing a battle between the rebel soldiers and the British near Lucknow? Come and see this picture. Can you observe? Can you see the revolt that is taking place? The British soldiers inside the residency held on for more than 5 months. Like for more than 5 months they were there. And then on 23rd November, the residency fell into the hands of the sepoys. They held it onto it till 16th March. So the British soldiers were inside the residency for more than 5 months, and on 23rd November the residency fell into the hands of the sepoys. Leaders, the revolt at various places. Now these are the name of the leaders that were there. Okay, in Delhi, Bakht Khan, Kanpur, Nana Sahib. His troops were led by Tatya Top and Azim Mullah. In Lucknow, Begum Hasrat Mahal led the revolt. She was assisted by Maulvi Ahmadullah Shah, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai. In Bareilly, Khan Bahadur Khan, and in Ara, other places in Bihar, Jharkhand, Kuwar Singh organized and led the revolt. Okay, now coming to suppression of the uprising, how the Britishers suppressed the entire revolt, and also we will be talking about the different leaders of the Britishers who helped in suppressing the revolt. Uprising. By mid-1857, it appeared that the rule of the company was over, at least in North India. So the revolt was so high and at such a power that everybody thought that the British rule has ended, especially in North India. The British, however, soon reorganized and fought back. One by one, they started recapturing the areas they had lost to the rebel sepoys. Now what they did, they all reorganized everything, planned out things, and they came back and they start taking their areas from the sepoys. British commanders such as Colin Campbell, Henry Havelock were particularly successful. Despite losing Delhi, now underline, this was a big blow to the rebels. Bahadur Shah Zafar was taken prisoner. Underline, Bahadur Shah Zafar was taken prisoner and deported to Rangoon in Burma. With this, the rule of the Mughals ended officially. Now he was taken and he was sent. Deported means he was sent to Rangoon. Now it is basically Yangon in Burma and now present day Myanmar. Clear? And this way officially the rule of the Mughal Empire ended. Okay. Now Bakht Khan, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Khan Bahadur Khan, Kumar Singh died fighting the British. Nana Sahib and Begum Hasrat Mahal escaped to Nepal and continued the struggle. Tatya Tope was arrested and hanged. So within a year and a half, the British had completely suppressed the uprising. So within 1.5 years, the Britishers had completely suppressed the uprising. Clear? Okay. Now why did the uprising fail? See, what happened was basically the entire India was at blaze. There was a lot of fire, there was a lot of revolt. And what happened and why this uprising failed? And you know what, it is said at present by some historians have said that if in 1857 the revolt had been right, we would have ended the British rule at that time only. We wouldn't have waited till 1947, but we would have ended the British rule if the revolt was properly done. Okay, now let's see what were the reasons for the failure. The revolt did not spread to all parts of the country. Yes, it was not spread to all the parts of the country. It was only to the main centers only. Okay, nor was it supported by all groups and sections of the society. There were many people who helped the Britishers and they did not help the Indians. Okay. The revolt was not organized properly. Yes, had it been properly planned and had it been properly plotted, it would have been a successful revolt. There was no ideology and there was no proper planning. The leadership of the movement was weak. Most of the leaders fought to liberate their own territories. Now, basically, the leaders were not good. They were fighting to liberate or to free their own territory, their own state. They were not fighting for the country. The rebels were short of weapons and finances. We were short of finances. We did not have money. We did not have arms, ammunition, weapons. कुछ नहीं थे हमारे पास. Clear? Okay. Now coming to nature of the uprising. To underplay the importance of the uprising, British historians refer it to a sepoy mutiny. That is one which a few sepoys of the English East India Company revolted. The facts, however, suggest otherwise. An uprising was long-lasting and as widespread as this cannot be explained by just the disaffection that the greased cartridges could caused among the sepoys. The revolt did begin as a mutiny by the sepoys, but it was soon supported by people from all sections of the society. Yes, it was supported, but they were, for example, 40% supported it and there were 60% who did not support it. Few of them did not have to do anything with the revolt and few of them were supporting the Britishers. Okay. The participation of peasants and artisans made the revolt a widespread and a popular uprising. In some regions, the common people revolted much before the sepoys. All this shows that it was a popular revolt. Yes, it was a popular revolt. The uprising was characterized by Hindu-Muslim unity. People of both communities fought together. Unity among different regions also existed. Seeing the spread of the revolt and the participation, Indian historians have termed it as the first war of Indian independence. It was the first war of independence. Okay. Now I'll be telling you what happened after the uprising in the part 3 of the video. Till then, stay home, stay safe, stay happy, and yes, keep studying.